Presentation?
Test.
Okay, okay, let me go. Help.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
You got 3 more ahead of you.
Yes, ma'am, okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
You put it like that. It's peer pressure. Yes, same thing. Yeah. I had a, have you ever been to George's Key?
Okay.
I haven't been there. Okay, so they had apparently,
Yes.
I don't know, they could have made up this one, but they went up to.
And you're already presenting that's what they on the screen.
They did a
Yes.
tour where they tested the differential losses from the bus chase line and they created. It was like fish.
And did you? Marijuana? Did you have it? Okay. Did you take migraines?
Not too bad. Yeah.
Yes, he did. Or wine.
Oh, no. Let me find it.
It's a little bit order. You can sit. I'd sit with you. Go ahead. You've probably been on your feet all day. Oh, what is that? Please tell me that's not somebody.
No, I haven't been actually. It's been chill that day. But no, so we have Ms. Knudsen up first. And
Hey,
then Dr. Piper.
Can you be my
And then
timer?
Mr. McCray. What?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you received the files, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna leave it on here since you're gonna be the first presenter. Yeah, should we go? You have any video?
Yeah, just down there.
Knudsen, Piper, McCray, Dr. Piper.
Okay. You have video done?
And they're all.
Nobody knows.
I will be happy to.
And the mic is on for you as well.
Okay.
And if I can borrow your video, this is for the cameras. What's that? You have like a. You go, as soon as you get off stage, I'll be there, ready to video. Thanks.
You said hardrock.com?
Yes.
Dr. Piper?
Yes.
Okay.
The one that just
Oh,
spoke?
thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Leave it open or close it out? Oh, okay. Oh, can you use this bad boy for it? If not, it's fine. Okay.
You leave it open for now, or
What was that?
you leave it open for now?
Yeah, it's fine.
And you got mine. You can close mine.
I did.
You can just.
Morris said he was gonna give you the thing. The
Oh, you get back to him?
yeah. Yeah. Can we get it for you?
Something?
I'll say it was like. I know, but I can't. Somebody else is saying, is that that's my, is this JC? Is that CT? Maybe, yeah. So I want to choose that from you. I honestly, if you was one, it's sweet. Yeah.
Oh, is that what this is for? Oh, okay.
When we first moved here, we tried to do the first one.
Okay, so I'm kind, well,
I think it's a big, if there is, you know, go out there all the time.
Which is-
Done this.
That's all we're seeing rights.
They do that every year.
I knew they did it, but I was never, I've never been here.
I don't know, maybe they want to see, you know, and then make it great. So it should be. There should be a guest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was just, I guess, like to that.
It's the family time. Yes.
The one comes from.
One night, and he says, oh, it's here.
Oh, is your best going to be through the gas?
Yeah.
can I say one? So I just signed it for you?
I said there were no
There's a required.
No,
Right.
I just need to make sure you receive it. And then I need to, call my daughter to see if she.
Authorization to use it.
I'm on terrible.
You didn't.
Does she want us to order this thing?
Yes. I just said I'm here.
You just look for the picture.
And Jay too. Yeah, two sets.
Yes.
So where do you go?
Oh, resurrection. Sis.
I think so. I'm going to see if you
From the angel.
receive it. And I need to find it. So she's in that. Oh, do you know the rest of it? Back to the book. Yeah, I have it. I was not. That's why you.
It was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, so he's gonna pull us on. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. Yes.
You guys were filming. There was like 2 grand.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me how much you wanted.
Yeah.
Yes. They told us they could.
So we were already on, that's the right there. So just stay up to the-
It took me just 1 hour.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The way I, yeah, that's the way it
Yes. Yeah, we went.
Jay. Come back here.
I went to the bar at the event.
Yeah.
Forgot that was internet there.
It's like this.
Yeah, there's good. For
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's not going up.
Take this right here. Yeah, so.
And then is the streaming, is it ready?
I know it's counting down. Yeah, we're good.
I was just saying,
Shirley, you're saying, like, we tried blocking off the sections of 2 minutes.
really, they were like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, we don't sign or anything like that.
It's like the red so once I could share it, go share this, and then after I smell it, I didn't always understand. But I'm gonna do it. I'm going to, because I don't have my presentation, I'm gonna have to, I was here when I was. Okay, Jay. It has some good to that.
You love that, like,
Thank you.
Yeah, oh.
We're also get upstairs. I'm just gonna do a final check with them.
For the happy hour?
Yes, but other than that we should be good.
Okay.
And I'll also give you my number.
Oh, that's
Or
great.
just
Oh my gosh. I'm
Maybe.
tech savvy. Do I need it to be open?
maybe.
But just like.
Maybe you don't have it on.
What is that?
Here. It is.
Teach me.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I ain't teach myself. Accessibility.
Are we trying to do airdrop?
We can, but usually when you put it together, it will do it. But that's okay, because I'll just give you my number.
That's why I'm trying. Wait for her. Everything she asked. I share. Figure out. So like I always have a lot of but she's going to conversation style for people, like just talking. So I do want to maybe suggest that the community goes through questions.
Yeah, just shoot me a text.
Right now?
No, if you need something, just shoot me a text. But I'm just okay.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then I can communicate with somebody that you can't find yourself.
Okay, great, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We are going to get started very soon. If we can ask everyone to get a little closer, we can have a bit more cozy conversation, if that's okay.
I know.
It's quite all right. It's been filming people all day.
Jessica, or Clarity Child, except. So I saw a presentation.
If we can get a little closer to the first 2 to 3 rows that we create. I know some of our presenters have a team.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Now, I've caught some of you guys at Minshew. We have some great snacks. Thank you to the Hard Rock Cafe for providing us with a venue. Great things can happen in all sorts of places, right? So anytime someone says the Hard Rock Cafe, are we going to sing? Are we going to dance? Is there anything to it? No, we're here to have a conversation and a dialogue. That is what the DreamHour is all about. There's some amazing voices, some amazing stories, and initiatives from companies and organizations that they're a part of. So I implore you, have some questions ready to go because they're ready to answer them. If you want to find out how you can be a part of it, if you want to find out where you can put $1 or $2 towards it, just so we can create this community initiative, keep moving forward. Now, can I get a hand raise of who's familiar or who's unfamiliar with Dream Week? Is this new for you? Nobody. Okay, so don't worry about it. No, she is a pro with Dream Week. Okay. Well, not a problem. Well, look, Dream Week may be new to some, right? Especially those that are streaming right now. But Dream Week is not new to San Antonio. It has been 14 years of just amazing opportunities for people to get to learn a little bit more about the different civic engagements that happen in the city. So, the mission behind Dream Week, we want to create an opportunity to celebrate humanity. We want to create an environment for civic and civil engagement to embrace the ideas and the thoughts for the common good. Now, that's an amazing mission for Dream Week to have, because in every facet, we've probably encountered someone that is either in need or inspired to do more and reach higher heights. So that's why we come together as a community, okay? So let's give a round of applause for everybody that is here that wants to We also want to thank our sponsor, Community First Health Clinic. They are part of the reason why we're here. We're able to do this, okay? Because we all know nothing just happens out of the sky. Money doesn't grow on trees. I've checked. It doesn't work. But we are here to make sure that we can provide an opportunity for everybody to learn a little bit more. Now, Dream Week does go from January 9th to the 31st. I see the wheel spinning, and yes, Dream Week being more than a week. The trademark's already there. Just think of it as it's Dream Week this week, it's Dream Week next week, and the following, okay? So we are going to enjoy and embrace it. So today's Dream Week, Dream Hour is all about having that conversation, that dialogue, being able to dive in and really get to know a little bit better about what's happening in our city that we may not have known more about until today or down the road. We have amazing individuals, so I am going to start with our first speaker. You guys ready? Oh, that is, I know there's only 12 right now. We can make it sound like 30, make the people jealous online. Are you guys ready? So Jessica Knudsen took over the role of CEO and president in February 2019. She was selected by the Clarity CGC's board of directors after a nationwide search. That already tells us we're doing something very important. She was selected by the CGC, she comes to Clarity CGC from the Holy Hill Hospital, one of the North Carolina's leading psychiatric and addiction treatment facilities for children and adults, where she acted in a dual role as the Chief Operating Officer and Director of Risk Management and Performance Improvement. Knudsen received her Master's of Science in Social Work from the University of Texas at Austin. We'll let it slide, it's not A&M, it's okay. And her BS in Psychology from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. She then received her license in Clinical Social Work from the state of North Carolina. Prior to joining the Holy Hill team, she held roles in therapy and directorial positions at the behavioral health facility. Please give it up for Jessica Knudsen.
Appreciate that lovely introduction. And if you can't tell, I've got some ringers in the audience. We do have several members of the Clarity team here, so thank you guys for coming to support. We're talking about Dream Week and we're talking about resilience, and I think Clarity is a perfect topic with that. We are really a hidden gem in the San Antonio area as the only nonprofit that's dedicated to treating children ages 3 to 17 in their pursuit of mental wellness. So our mission statement is to do just that, to support children and families in their pursuit of mental wellness. And our vision is to ensure that every child and family that needs our services receives our services. So regardless of their ability to pay, our doors are open. Because you cannot build resilience without that support if you're going through trauma, which we all know and all the research shows. 1 in 6 kids, 1 in 5 kids through the course of their childhood is going to experience some kind of trauma that may cause a mental health issue. So that is why we're here in the San Antonio community. Next slide, please.
Oopsies.
So just a couple pictures of our campus. We're located on an 8-acre campus in the medical center here in San Antonio. And if, a lot of people don't hang out at psychiatric hospitals a lot, so you might not have a frame of reference. They don't typically look like this. We've really put a lot of thought into making it feel like a campus. And one of our treatment tenets is kids do well when they can. So you have to create an environment that wants them to be successful. We don't have fences around our campus. We have a playground, we have a basketball court, because we want to create that warm and inviting environment. And just an overview of, we really have a couple of different components. We're also unique in that we can do a whole continuum of care. We do inpatient hospitalization, so we have 74 beds, and that's for children that really are at risk for harming themselves or others. Things have gotten so bad they need 24-hour care. They stay in that program about a week, and then we discharge them back into the community with a connection to aftercare. So that is 24-hour care, again, that 5 to 7 day length of stay. We also have, some people call it day hospital, partial hospital. Kids come during the day, attend group, go home at night. About half the kids that go to that program come from the hospital, and about half directly go into that program. We can have about 40 kids in that program at any given time. We have plans to grow that because that is obviously a very popular program because it is very traumatic to leave your child in a facility overnight, so it's a good option for families. Just an example of what one of our units looks like. Again, a lot of thought into making it feel not institutional in terms of the color palette and the way it's set up. It's a lot of individual and family therapy, a lot of groups, and then they do meet with a psychiatrist if medications are something that is part of their treatment. We also operate a 24/7 crisis services area. That's the picture on this slide. Okay, next one. Go back to that one. Sorry, Gina. Thought that one had crisis services on it. So this is manned 24/7 with mental health professionals. You don't need an appointment. You don't need to call ahead. If a family is in crisis, they can walk in, get an assessment, and we'll make that connection to the right level of care. You don't even need to necessarily come into the hospital to come into crisis services. You could go to the day hospital program, you could go to outpatient services, but we're just gonna make sure things are safe and get people connected to that right level of care. This area is so busy, we are actually expanding. We are kicking off a renovation project this June to add 2 additional observation rooms. Just to kind of give you a scope, this last October, we had 700 assessments through this area a month. So we can get between 20 and 30 true just walk-ins, of families walking in crisis requiring assessment. So it's a very busy area and we need more space. We also offer several outpatient services in addition to those inpatient and day hospital programs. We have the traditional individual, family, group therapy that we can offer. Our director of outpatient is in the audience if you have questions about that service line. We do some specific assessments. Our first step program is really great, and we have a lot of research connected to that. It's a very, very, very comprehensive assessment. So about 3 hours, you get a little bit of psychological testing thrown in there. It's really wonderful for those families that don't know what they need. Do I need a psychiatrist? Do I need a therapist? Do I need occupational therapy? There could be a wide variety of services. So that first step is really designed to get a really good path so they know what that next level of care is. Next step is we call them bridge appointments. If you watch the news at all, you know there's a shortage of mental health professionals. So these appointments are designed to really help bridge services so we can get some services to families before they get connected to permanent counselors and permanent services. And then we have several school systems. We provide therapists out at Harlandale and Judson ISDs that go on site and do counseling services there. And then this last January, we just had our 1-year anniversary. We opened a satellite clinic in connection with Southside ISD. We'd identified that as a treatment desert where there's just no providers. And so we can do that day hospital program and outpatient services. It's in an annex of the high school. So that's been a great partnership. And Paul also supervises that. Program. And then our newest program we just started in March is called multi-systemic therapy, something else we're really excited about. Our goal would be to put the hospital out of business. We don't want kids to get to the point of crisis and needing to come into the hospital. MST is a true community-based program. So the therapists have very low caseloads. They only carry about 5 or 6 kids. They go into the home, into the school, to basketball practice, to their job, wherever it might be. And they're not only working with the child, they're working with a team of adults that surround that child to give them the tools to help if the child's having a meltdown. So again, just started in March, but it's been really successful. And that is really targeted on kids at risk for out-of-home placement. And that could be juvenile justice involved, and they're at risk for getting involved in the juvenile justice system, or psychiatric symptoms causing out-of-home placement. That is a picture of our outpatient building, no progress. Next slide. Just a snapshot of some of the things that we do treat. We, again, because we have that full continuum, We really can treat everything that a child might be dealing with, from maybe they need some medication for an attention issue to more serious psychiatric disorders. So just a snapshot of anxiety and depression. This is probably the biggest thing that we deal with, particularly post-COVID. We're still seeing a ton of issues with school refusals, school anxiety, and that is on a day-to-day basis the biggest thing that we deal with. Some PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from kids that have been exposed to some kind of trauma, attention deficit disorder I mentioned, and then some more serious disorders. The first episodes of bipolar disorders, eating disorders, or something more serious like a schizophrenia. We're able to treat that entire continuum. So just to give you an overview, this is some 2024, we don't have 2025 done quite yet, being just a few weeks into the year. So crisis services did 5,724 assessments over the course of those 12 months. That resulted in 3,684 admissions to the inpatient hospital, 7,514 treatment days in the day hospital program, 14,000 and change outpatient appointments. And we provided services to children from 60 counties in Texas, so our reach is even beyond Bexar County. And we even had some out-of-state placements to our services. So really big footprint, which is always just so curious if so many people don't know about us. It's kind of one of those things, you don't know about us unless you need us, and then we're on your speed dial. So if you have friends, if you have colleagues that have kids, we want people to know about us, because if you do end up needing our services, we're there 24/7. The other thing I would like to point out, another part of our mission, we are education focused, and so we do a lot of training on site in terms of training psychiatrists, psychologists, nursing students, but we also hold an educational conference every year called ClarityCon. It's at the Henry B. Gonzalez, just moved there last year, and this last year, 2025, we sold 697 tickets. It's about 35 breakout speakers on really everything children's mental health you could want to know, and so we're hosting it again this July. So if you are interested in that topic, keep an eye out. We invite all the community to attend. There are some challenges. If you watch the news this week, you know it's a very odd time for mental health. It should not be a controversial topic, but unfortunately, it has become a controversial topic. If you track the news just the last couple days. So is that just yesterday? Or was it the day before? It's been a long 48 hours. They sent out letters to a bunch of agencies that they're cutting about $2 billion in mental health and substance abuse programs. Obviously made for a very busy day in terms of how do we respond to that? Not just the impact to the clients that we serve, but the jobs and the dollars in the community as well will have a huge impact. They have rescinded that at breakneck speed, but it's an odd time for mental health services just in the current political landscape. But we're just getting busier, and there are just some statistics up there. We still don't have a bed about 28% of the time for adults and females. The demand just outweighs the availability of services. And we're seeing a huge increase in smaller kids, so about a 14% increase in 10 and under. And there are a lot of theories why. We don't have really good hard data on that yet, but a lot of, I think, still residual impact from COVID, because those kids that are now 5 and 6 were the kids that were born during COVID. And I think we're still seeing some residual effects of that. So it's just Jean? Okay. If you're interested in learning more, we do have a very robust website. There are articles for professionals, there are articles for families, there are also articles for youth. So if you have a youth that wants to learn more about depression or anxiety, there are a ton of resources on our website. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are there regardless of someone's ability to pay. So we will never turn anyone away in crisis. We will never turn anyone away that's in need of an assessment or is in need of services. There are some ways you can help if you're interested either as an individual or as an organization. One of our most successful volunteer programs is called Food for the Soul. This is an opportunity for organizations to come in And we started with, you can come into our kitchen and make a meal, nobody wanted to do that, so we tend to bring in Chick-fil-A or Raising Cane's or something, pizza, and serve it to the kids in the inpatient hospital. So it's a very protective way that you can still have some interaction with the kids. The kids love it, the volunteers love it, cafeteria staff love it if they get invited off too. So it's just it's a win all around, so that's available. And then we've got some other opportunities. We, as a nonprofit organization, there's always need for clothing. We operate a clothing closet. A lot of our kids come to us from emergency rooms or via law enforcement detention, so they're coming with not a lot. So we have a clothing closet to get those kids some resources. We also operate a food pantry on campus for our families that are maybe dealing with some food insecurity. So we're always looking for those types of community donations. And then around the holidays, we do a pretty robust giving tree, so we can make sure that the kids that are in the hospital have gifts to open on Christmas. And then we do use some of the overage for that it keeps us in stock with basketballs and art supplies and some things that we can use throughout the year with our programs. Any questions? Yes?
What is the age range or the oldest?
17. Yeah, we have a little bit of wiggle room on the outpatient side, but our license is pretty strict on inpatient, not be 17 and below. But if a kid's still in high school, or sometimes even in beginning of college, we can keep them in outpatient services.
And once they get discharged, y'all follow up with them, or is it kind of left them?
Yeah, we will make that referral to make sure they get linked to an outpatient provider, but with the volume, it's too voluminous to do that follow-up. Great question.
Do you find that families are engaged with learning how to help at home, or do they kind of disconnect?
Are they like, we take care of it, and expect the same child?
I would say it's the full spectrum of that. I would categorize our kiddos kind of into three buckets, for lack of a better term. There's a one-time admission. There's a crisis, something happens, they make a suicidal outcry. The family is on it, they are there, they are writing down everything that we say. They follow with outpatient services and we don't see them again. Like that's all they needed to kind of get on that path. We have the families that operate a little more in crisis. So the crisis happens, maybe they go to a month follow-up and they kind of slack off, and maybe we see them in another year, or we see them in another 18 months. And then we have some families that maybe live in crisis, and so we see them, we're their primary behavioral health provider. And so it's really a full spectrum in terms of both engagement and utilization of services.
Is there a season that you see this on?
So we really follow the school calendar. School is our kids' biggest stressor, so when school's in session, we are busier. So we do tend to dip down a little bit with our hospitalizations during Christmas break and during the summer break. STAR testing is also a big busy week for us. Yes, sir.
You mentioned ClarityCon and the education program. Is that ideal for teachers?
It's ideal for teachers, it's ideal for school counselors. I like to say it's ideal for anyone that has a child in their life, because the topics are so varied. You don't have to be a mental health professional or someone directly interacting with the kid. If you have a child, if you have a grandchild, I think there's enough variety of topics, there'd be something for everybody there.
You said 28% of the female. Is there a reason, like, is it because girls in general just kind of talk about their feelings more, or
If you kind of track our patient population, it does tend to be more adolescent females. That's the highest utilizer. Girls, if you have children, if you have a girl and a boy, girls tend to emote more. And so sometimes they are getting, the plus to that is they're getting into services earlier because they're talking about it and they're bringing attention to it. Where boys tend to be a little bit more inward, more aggressive, it turns into more behavior rather than kind of verbalizing how they're feeling. But yeah, adolescent females are our highest utilizers.
Can you talk a little bit about your inclusivity efforts?
Yeah, so we, in terms of our services that we provide to the community, the doors are wide open. Anyone that needs our services, regardless of ability to pay, regardless of background, and from our strategic plan purpose, I mentioned the South Side Initiative. We really sat down as a leadership team and said, where is access to care an issue? And where in our community are folks not able to get services? Because all the research shows if you go to good outpatient care, you won't leave the hospital if you can get ahead of that. So we have, and Southside's not the only, long term, if we can kind of get this model working, we've identified the east side and the west side as future sites to potentially do the satellite clinic because there's just not enough providers in that area. The other significant issue we see is specifically lack of Medicaid providers. We treat about 65% Medicaid in terms of the kids that we see, and there's just a real lack of folks to be able to discharge them to on an outpatient basis because so few providers take Medicaid.
Do you all see access issues like from the cost to actually getting to your campus or transportation issues?
Yes, and that was one reason we wanted to put a satellite clinic. I don't know if you've been to Southside, but it's about as far as you could go and still be in Bear County. It's pretty far. It takes about 35 minutes to get from that campus to our main campus. So that is a no-go in terms of weekly therapy if you're trying to get from here to here, which is why having those readily available resources are so important because transportation is a huge issue.
How do you monitor donations of your organization?
If you haven't guessed, Melissa is our director of, great question, Melissa. Yes, so we are a nonprofit. The thing about our services and why we're so unique, we do provide really great quality care. That is very expensive, and it takes a lot of people to be able to do that. What we're reimbursed from Medicaid, from other insurance companies, is less than what it costs us to take care of the kid over the course of the day. So philanthropic donations are huge, and they do allow us to continue to operate. So our website has a donation button. Those volunteer programs that Bridge the Gap help with that too, because if we're not having to spend money there, that allows us to fund the mission. And then we do a whole lot of grant applications and stuff Melissa knows very well.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's amazing to hear, again, things that we may not understand right off the bat. We think teenagers are just teenagers. They're having fun, they're hard-headed, we've all been there, we knew everything, and then we got older and we absolutely nothing. So, thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing. And again, at the end of this, there's going to be a bit of a happy hour. You guys can network and communicate, maybe get more information or questions that pop up at the end. So please do so. For those that aren't aware, the speaker series does go until the 29th, and it is Monday through Thursday. So if you find yourself wanting to join more of these or hear more about the organizations, it is different every day and throughout the week. So this is the place to be. Also, if you are new to coming in this evening, please again fill in the front. We get a little closer. Make sure you got your drink tickets. If you haven't used them all already, that's admirable. So thank you for that. We're having a good time this evening. But things are coming up. We actually have the awards launch is going to be on January 16th. So please come on out. Let's see the people that have worked their tails off and are getting the recognition. Or as you say, the flowers. We want to make sure the parent chat. It's a young thing. We're working on it. But yes, we want to make sure they get their flowers and their recognition. So please do join us at the Whitty. There are tickets still available, so it's not too late. Now, our next speaker. We want to give a huge round of applause. I've got quite a bit to say because she's done a lot. So Dr. Doshi Piper serves as the chair of the City of San Antonio Martin Luther King Jr. Commission, where she provides leadership rooted in Dr. King's vision of justice, equity, and the beloved community. Her service with the commission reflects a deep institutional commitment, having previously served as a secretary and vice chair, and beginning her involvement as a member of the fundraising committee under the leadership of Reverend Jeffrey Garner. Across these roles, Dr. Piper has helped strengthen community partnerships, expanded civic engagement, and sustain the Commission's long-standing mission. In addition to her work with the Commission, Dr. Piper is an associate professor of criminal justice. I need your help if you have to work with tickets or not. Hey, don't worry. Anyway, so where her teaching and scholarship focus on ending mass incarceration, expanding reentry, restorative justice, and the intersection of faith, policy, and community-based solutions. She is also the restorative justice coordinator at the Texas Organizing Project, where she supports statewide campaigns that center directly impacted communities and advance alternatives to criminalization and punishment. Across her academic, organizing, and civic leadership roles, Dr. Piper works to bridge scholarship and practice centering peacemaking, accountability, and community power as essential tools for advancing racial and social justice. Please welcome to the stage, Dr. Doshi Piper.
Good evening, everyone. Look, I need my water because this pollen, woo, it got me out, it got me. The pollen is lethal. So yes, I am Dr. Doshi Piper, and my presentation this evening is titled The Revelation That Changed My Work: Scholarship, Organizing, and Service. And I am the chair of the current Martin Luther King Jr. Commission, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Commission, which is a city commission, and we are tasked with stewarding the MLK events. We are listed as Dream Week or in Dream Week, but we are not Dream Week. And I think I'm making that distinction or that clarification because of King Week in Georgia or Atlanta, they get Dream Week and the MLK Commission confused here. Although that was Henry Cisneros' vision when he, Arnetta Pierce, and Joe Redd created the MLK Commission. And that's why we have a week-long events. We just can't call our events King Week because it's trademarked. All right, so. The revelation that changed my work. I didn't always understand what this work would cost or what it would give back in return. When I first stepped into justice work, I thought the tools I had, my education, my frameworks, my passion would be enough. I figured the price would mostly be time, energy, maybe some patience. I was wrong. The revelation didn't hit me like a lightning bolt. It unfolded slowly, quietly, persistently. The way true transformation usually happens. It came through community meetings that ran late into the night, through hard, honest conversations where pain, anger were spoken aloud, through moments when exhaustion set in, and I quietly asked myself, if I could keep showing up. And in the middle of all of that, I realized something that shifted everything. Justice work is not about saving anyone. It's not. It's about standing with someone, standing with people. That simple change from rescuer to partner changed the direction of my life and my work. I came to this work through criminal justice, education, and faith. Those paths gave me a structure and conviction. At the University of the Incarnate Word, where I serve as Associate Professor of Criminal Justice, my teaching and research have always centered how systems shape lives and how people resist, survive, and transform those systems. I bring data, policy analysis, and evidence-based practices into the classroom, emphasizing restorative and community justice, especially where or at the intersection of faith and community and reentry. But San Antonio, this city and its people became my deepest teacher. Through my leadership with Texas Organizing Project, as board co-president, I learned a different kind of knowledge. The urgent, relational wisdom that comes from organizing Black and Latino communities on the ground. It grounded me in listening at the speed of trust. You know, community folk, they know when you're lying. And they will call you up, she lying. In making room for collective leadership and in holding systems and ourselves accountable. Here in San Antonio, I learned that systems don't change unless relationships do. I learned that data matters, it maps harms, but stories move people. Policy matters, it sets the rules, but trust sustains movements. Titles open doors, but humility keeps them open. The revelation that settled deepest was that proximity changes everything. When you sit close enough to people's lives, in a UIW classroom where students ask questions, in a UIW classroom where students ask questions, theories alone cannot answer. In Texas Organizing Project, spaces was urgent. In Texas Organizing Project spaces, where urgency meets lived reality. My child is in jail. My child is not just in jail, but in the infirmary in jail. My child is not just in jail, but my child is in University Hospital because he was brutalized by the police. Urgency meets reality. In conversations that strip away distance, your assumptions shift. Your questions evolve. You evolve. I evolve. Proximity makes justice human. It makes it harder and infinitely more real. My journey to serving as chair of the city of San Antonio. My journey to serving as chair. I'm sorry, that's my daughter back there, that's my. That's when she's up cheering me, y'all. My journey to serving as chair of the City of San Antonio, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Commission was not about ambition. It was about alignment. Bringing together my academic work at UIW, my organizing with TOP, and my faith commitments into one integrated calling. Serving on and now chairing the commission showed me that Dr. King's legacy is not neat. It's not comfortable. And it is not confined to history. My vice chair Val is here. And like we uncovered or discovered that we were operating similarly to the way the systems that we are trying to dismantle and break down operate. But we brainstormed, we talked, and we adjusted, and we came up with a plan, and guess what we did? We executed that plan. And we made that wrong right. We all always trying to get it right. That legacy lives right now in the everyday, in youth voices that challenge us to listen, in community disagreement that pushes growth instead of easy agreement, in the slow, sacred work of healing after harm, and in the people who keep showing up, even when they're tired. How many of you have done something when you was tired? Even when progress seems small. The work is messy. It's imperfect. It's sometimes painful. And it's sacred. The march is beautiful. A powerful symbol that draws thousands, hundreds of thousands together each year. Even last year, when it was 26 degrees, over 100,000 people. Over 100,000 people showed up. But the march is not the work. What truly honors Dr. King is what we do the other 364 days. The teaching, the organizing, the persistent standing with people. This journey has reshaped me in ways I never anticipated. It has changed how I teach at UIW. I listen more deeply, creating space for students' voices. It has changed how I lead with TOP and this commission. I focus on building collective power rather than directing it. It has changed how I listen, especially when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. My revelation, the one that keeps rooting deeper, is this. Liberation is collective. None of us are free alone. We are tied together in a struggle, in hope, in shared responsibility. The most powerful thing we can offer our city, this city, the thing San Antonio needs the most is not perfection, it's presence. Showing up, standing up, standing with people, not above them, but with them. Dr. King didn't ask us to be fearless, he asked us to be faithful. Faithful to justice, even when the road is long. Faithful to community, even when connection takes effort. Faithful to love in action, even when love costs something. That's the word. And I am deeply grateful to my students at UIW, to my fellow organizers at TOP, to the commission members, to the young voices and the weary ones who keep showing up. I'm grateful to walk this road with you Val, with you Jade, with you Angela, with you Bernard, with you Show and Dream Voice, and all of you in this room. Thank you. I'm gonna push the slide. This is my last slide.
Is that the planning again for next year?
So after the March, we have the Trinity Lecture Series, which is still a part of the week. So the week is Friday through Thursday. And then we take a long break until the third Thursday in February. And we have our Voices of the Dream celebration. This is where our public award recipients and our scholarship awardees get recognized. And that is May 14th this year. And because our calendar is on the same calendar as the city, we began our retreat is every July. So typically when there's a new council member, every 2 years, there's a new commission or changes to the commission. Although that won't happen this year because the council members' terms are 4 years now. So we don't do anything in June, it starts July. July through January. Well, really July through May. Other questions?
With your work with incarcerated individuals, do you find yourself working with people like with long-term clarity?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So my population is formerly incarcerated individuals or individuals who have lived experiences with justice or justice-involved populations, but they're all post-confinement. And to be honest, a lot of the individuals who participate in my reentry projects are opposed to seeking services. I think it's because of, well, first of all, it's taboo in Black and brown communities to seek counseling and treatment and therapy. But in addition to that, the number one issue in prisons and jail is mental health. So, and they don't want, I can't be weak, I can't be vulnerable. If I go to sick call, it's because my head hurt, my stomach hurt, not because I'm depressed or I'm anxious or I'm sad. So they mask, and it's really, and once you've worn a mask for so long, it is very difficult to take it off. They view it as a sign of weakness, and so it's really breaking those barriers. I see that they need it. Only a small fraction of their population actually, utilize it. Yes, sir.
Of your resources, typically voluntarily or they're state or city?
So we get allocation from the city. From that allocation, a third of it goes directly to scholarships. And on average, it takes about $500,000 to put on the events over a week or a week and a day. And I'm counting a day as the Voices of the Dream celebration. And last year it was $650,000. This year is $750,000. And so Angela, our fundraising chair, Angela does a wonderful job bringing in the, we brought out money people here today. We brought our money people here today. We just knew y'all had some coins for us. Clarity, the MLK Commission. The link is, if you want to give, is sa.gov/MLK. You can see our sponsorship packet and you can contribute. Angela will take your information today, send you an invoice before you even leave here. And so yeah, it's expensive, and the city only provides less than a third of that. And so we are tasked with fundraising 2/3 of our budget. And we're all volunteers. There's no paid commissioners. This is truly a labor of love. We all have full-time jobs. Some folks have 2 jobs. This is a 3rd job. We have families and children. I've been encouraging my lovely Jade, my daughter, to put her phone away, be present, lock in. And she has. You know, it's and so you may get emails late at night and on the weekends and different, that's when we have time. But most of the people we're dealing with and engaging with, this is their job. So y'all be patient with us. If we're slow to respond, we will respond. Thank you.
Thank you so much. One more round of applause, please. There is a collection plate going on. QR code, moving up the world. No, that's amazing. For those of you that have been a part of the march, it is to think that little old big San Antonio has the largest march in the entire country. Most people can't find us on the map. They think it's just Western Wear and the Spurs. Mostly the Spurs. But no, it's amazing what everybody's put together. You guys for especially just imagining May through January. No paycheck, you're doing it just because you have that drive and you have that heart to do so. Thank you so much. Then really quickly, we also have the DreamHour. It's January 30th at the Aztec Theater. So it was formerly the Mayor's Ball, but you know, what if we don't like the mayor, right? So no, I'm just kidding. In the event that, you know, as time passes and we keep moving forward, we want to make sure that the main thing is the main thing, right, Chad? All right. Well, anyway, so we're focused on the DreamHour, which is coming up. Another thing, Community First Health Plan has created a 30 over 30. It's a way to honor those that put forth a ton of work. They've taken time out of their day to, again, just be amazing for the community to uplift one another. So all of our participants and organizations are a part of that 30 over 30. So please give them a round of applause for that. That was light. We get a stronger round of applause. Okay. So next up, we have our final speaker, Mr. Corey McCray. Don't jump up here yet. I've got to tell them all about you. Okay, so Corey McCray is the president and CEO of Alamo City Arts, San Antonio's largest multidisciplinary performing arts nonprofit, serving tens of thousands annually through performance, education, and community access programs. With a background in for-profit leadership, he brings entrepreneurial strategy and the operational rigor to nonprofit growth while centering inclusion, collaboration, and service. His approach to leadership focuses on building trust, empowering people, and creating sustainable impact across communities. Next to the stage, Mr. McCray.
So I'd start off by saying I apologize for not having a slideshow. I had a flood in my house this week or last week, so I've been kind of distracted by that. I'll try to take you on a ride. I'm usually off script anyway, so who knows where we'll end. Like my bio said, I have a background in started out in oil and gas, went into construction after we sold that off. And all of our stuff, we always kind of did turnkey stuff. And so when we were in oil and gas, we could drill a well, we could do the production afterwards, service it all and that. And that's kind of the thought that whenever I went into this, what we would do. When I started out, it was my daughters who were in the dance company with it. And, you know, it was something, you know, at that time I was working, I had my construction business at that time in a work company. And when they needed props built, I'd go ahead and do that. And one day, my wife, who's now my ex-wife, not because of this, but in spite of it, came home one day and said, "Congratulations, you're now president of Alamo City Arts." And I'm like, "What?" I once at that time we also had a treasurer who just got elected, and both of us kind of looked at everything and saw a lot of potential in it. At that time, we were only a dance company. And since then, we've added on several different aspects of it. Our first was our symphony. We added on in 2018, excuse me. And that was formed prior to us because of the Fulton nightclub shooting. A bunch of musicians got together and they wanted to do some fundraising for that to help the relief for that. And so they all got together, and once they did that one benefit concept, they wanted to stay together. And so once we looked at that, we saw that they needed a little bit of leadership. They were great with the artistic side, but just not quite on the business side. So I talked them into merging this. And around that same time, we were also doing the entertainment for the $4 River Parade. And at that time, I was watching, and a float came by. And it was Eva's Heroes, and they had so much fun on that float. And I said, we have to do something with it. Because it was, you know, I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Eva's Heroes, but, you know, it's for people in the IDD community, and they give them activities after they get out of high school or whatever. And so we collaborated with them to do sensory-friendly productions with them, where we put them on stage with our dancers. They're the highlight of the production, and we're just there to help along the production. The very first year, there was a gentleman, his name is Charlie Europe. He was 80 years old, and he wanted to do the Russian variation. And we went in there and saw, you know, he was doing Russian variation. His mobility was not that great. And so I went to one of the staff members and I said, are we sure that Charlie should be in this? Because I had concerns about him falling and hurting himself. And so they asked him, and he said, yeah, this is what I want to do. And so he continued with it, and his mobility went tenfold from the time in October all the way to December. It was incredible, the impact it had on him. And it doesn't just go with the mobility, it is also the social aspect of it. Our dancers, you know, form friendships. And, you know, now we have people who started, you know, with them 7 years ago. They send them cards, and they still do, you know, have interactions with them even afterwards. This year we had Charlie as gets me a little bit. We had Charlie as the Nutcracker. He had such a huge smile on his face. What gets me about that is he was institutionalized until the 80s. And he has such vigor for life. You know, he's now on a walker, so his mobility is down now, but he's still continued on all that streets. But it's you know, doing that, I think arts is sometimes seen as a luxury, but I see it as a way to build a community and unite the community. It's a way to bridge those gaps. People who feel isolated, people who feel like they're not heard or seen, and it gives them a voice. You know, and through this time we've continued on to grow. You know, during COVID, we decided that we weren't going to shut down, and so this is kind of how I got in touch with Community First Health Plans. Is we decided we were going to film our Nutcracker and distribute it to the hospital streets. And so we went across San Antonio, we went to the Southwest School of Arts, did some filming there. We did it at the Whitney Museum, and we distributed to all the hospitals and different channels. And that's kind of our partnership form with Community First. It's, arts is a way to bridge those gaps with that. And during COVID, we did the carnival animals, we went to the zoo, filmed it there, and did the same thing. Did productions at the botanical gardens, and we also distributed that free to everybody, online, so we were filming it and distributing it out. After COVID, we were homeless because the studio that we were in residence with went under, because it's just the way that things work. And so we had an opportunity to get another studio. And so that's when we opened our dance studio. Around that same time, we also had Heart of Texas Concert Band, which is the largest concert band in the state of Texas, asked if they could merge with us. And so we did that. And they have free concerts to everyone out there. And it's a way to be able to give back to the community, give them the music, and music heals the souls. And we also have inherited Memory Lane Dance Band. It's a Lynn Miller style band. And so from that, we go into retirement communities and do dances, dance music for them, and they all come out and do the dances. My biggest project that we're working on now, that I'm proudest of, is I was asked to go in for a career day for Booker T. Washington Elementary. And all the kids were just excited about, learning about dance and music and acting. And they all wanted to, do it. And I was like, you know what? I can give out a few scholarships to these kids. And so I offered it to the counselor, and we had a couple of people call, and they were like, we really want to do it, but nobody ever signed up. And so I was like, it's not happening. And so I talked to her, and it's like, they can't get there. There's no way to get the transportation. And so we developed an after-school dance program where we took our instructors into, and now we're in 17 Title I schools where we're doing after-school dance programs. One of them, if they're at Booker T. Washington, I have a little story about that. There was one kid that was really enthusiastic, and she showed up every program, never missed anything, and all of a sudden one day she just stopped coming. And we asked, what was it, Amelia? And she says, well, we can't really talk about it. And lo and behold, about that around, I think May, Roy Moss Alternative reached out to us and said, we have a new resident who moved in with us, and she really enjoyed dancing when she had this after-school dance program. And we would love to see if y'all would do a summer camp for us. And we said, yeah, absolutely, we'll do that. And lo and behold, when they showed up, it was Amelia. She got transferred. So it's kind of neat to have her, Kismet kind of worked its way around to come back there. So we've expanded that now, not only just to do the after-school dance programs, we're now doing concert series that are going into the schools. Our first one was a mariachi with Ballet Folklorico. We did that in November. It was most of the people going to these concerts are used to the symphony concerts going into the schools. And, it was mariachi music. It was kids were hooping and hollering and dancing in the aisles. And so it was kind of funny having these people who were helping with ushering were a little aghast at the way that everyone was acting, but they were having so much fun, we just left it alone. Because we feel that, if people are having fun, it's not interruptive. They're still, enjoying it, they're getting education out of it. We don't have to be stuffed shirts about everything. They're coming up end of this month, we're going to have our concert bands going to be doing Disney Magic. We also go to all the different schools across Perry County and Guadalupe. And so we'll do the first series with them, we'll do 4 concerts with them. Then we're following up with a symphony concerts with some ballet movement with it, Scheherazade. We'll do 6 of those across Barron, Guadalupe County. And at the end of the year, we're going to look at Midsummer Night's Dream, where we'll have it's going to feature our ballet, but of course we'll have a live music also. One of the things I've learned, and I'm sure Clarity maybe would agree to this, some kids learn differently. Some are visual learners, some are audio, some are hands-on, and that's what I like about being able to do these concerts is we're not just looking at the music side of things, but trying to do visual things and keep them engaged in different ways. That's kind of in a nutshell of what we do. Of course, we give out scholarships to kids. We do community events, throughout San Antonio. Holidays on Houston Street, we usually do the entertainment. 4 holidays are really great. You've probably seen us, but you didn't know who we were because we get a lot of asks for that type of stuff. We're always looking to expand, what we're doing. This year, I think we're going to have. Last year we had over 70,000 people that we impacted, and I hope that we can reach 100,000 this year. So I'm going to cut it short, and if you have any questions, please go ahead.
As far as like dance instructors, how do you guys find them? Do they volunteer or are they part of?
No, they're part of the staff. We have we actually just our ballet masters, husband and wife couple, they had an opportunity to buy a studio in California, so they left us, and we put out a listing on Indeed, and within 6 hours we had somebody apply for it. It was actually a Russian couple that used to dance with the Russian National Ballet. And we always kind of looked for that. That was actually a fiasco in itself because we had to get their O1 visa transferred to us. And in the current environment, it's a tedious process. But we finally got that done, and they're now on staff with us. We have a very talented young lady who's heading up our ballet folklorical program. We have another instructor who does our mariachi program. Dr. Munir is the director of Trinity University's symphony program. He is our symphony conductor. And then Dr. Mark Rogers is our conductor for the Heart of Texas Concert Band. But we always, one thing that we also do is, I would liken us to the missions of San Antonio, the missions, the baseball teams, because we try to grow our own talent. And some of our dancers and musicians, they need a little bit more extra performance time. And so we get them honed so that they can either continue on with us or they can look to transfer to somewhere else. And then we also have some that are incredible talented musicians who are professional that just want to continue to expand.
I don't know if you said this during your talk, but how long does it take to put on an event from planning to performance, the timeline?
That really depends on what type of event. So like our ballet performances, it usually takes about 3 months. Whereas a symphony concert, they'll come in with 4 rehearsals, 4 or 5 rehearsals, and they're ready to go. So just really the same with most of the music stuff. But of course, with dance, it just takes a little bit more rehearsal for that. And of course, on the production side of things, you also you have to look at the props that you have to build out. Any type of drops. That's always kind of. But once you have that stuff in your rep, and you just score that away, and you have it 30%. Yes, ma'am.
The students you teach, do they end up dancing for you guys? Like, do they end up working with y'all or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of them actually get paid for their performances. Some of them don't, some do. We do, like I said, you know, when we do these community events, like we did, some of the entertainment for the NCAA. They came in, and so that was a paid performance for them. When we do holidays on Houston Street, I pay the musicians. You know, so some are paid performances, and they continue on, you know, working with us, and some say, you know what, we don't have a budget for this, would you still do this? Oh, most of the time, it's the yeah.
And have you shared the cost of a ballet versus a symphony?
I have not, so like and then once again, that's kind of subjective too. When we do our ballet performances, we have a live orchestra with it. And so we reduce those. So normally you'd have about 80 musicians. In the reductions, we'll have about 40 musicians. Our cast is probably around anywhere from 40 to 80, just depending on what tune it is. I would say a ballet performance is about 3 times the cost. And of course, there's ways that you can mitigate those costs. Yeah. A lot of times you can, reduce the orchestration because then once again. Thank y'all.
And with the number of treatment before we get you stretched, we need a sample of some of these ballet moves.
Just a guy.
There are those who teach and those who do, right? All right, I understand. Well, we have reached near the end of our evening, our Dream Voice. We thank all of our speakers this evening. Again, one more round of applause. We love it for all students. No, this is amazing. Thank you guys for sharing your stories, your testimonies, the struggles, the triumphs. Not everything's just going to be a pretty polished thing as soon as you decide to jump into. Right? So thank you this evening again. There is still time during this session where you can use your drink tickets, we can network a little bit, learn a little bit more about how we can get involved now that we've heard everybody's story. So thank you so much for your time here this evening, and please get home safely. Thank you.
So,